Welcome everyone. You're listening to Stuart Outram. I'm one of the directors of the Tax and Accounting division here at Armada. I'm sitting with my fellow director Pam Taylor, who's our Director of Business Management, and we're coming to you on the back of a very successful single touch payroll information evening where we had a presentation on the what, where, how, why, when of single touch payroll, and also some foresights that Armada sees flowing on from the rollout of single touch payroll on the 1st of July 2019. So I'd like to hand over to Pam to talk to you about single touch payroll, and then I'll come back and make some comments following Pam's presentation.
Thanks, Stuart. As Stuart has told you, I am Pam Taylor, Director of Business Management, and one of my roles here is to ensure our clients are kept up to date with changes in legislation that can affect their business and assist them in implementing any changes to software that they may need to take place. So what is single touch payroll? It is a new piece of legislation that has been passed to change the way our employees report gross wages, superannuation accruals and pay-as-you-go withholding to the ATO. Traditionally, you will have completed this information through your BAS and IAS and by making contributions to the super clearinghouses either at the end of the month or the end of each quarter, depending on your reporting requirements in your individual business. Single touch payroll is changing all of this. Come 1st of July 2019, all businesses in Australia will need to report gross wages, pay-as-you-go withholding and superannuation accrual figures year to date on each pay event. A pay event is when you physically transfer your wages to your employees' bank accounts. So you may have a weekly payroll, a fortnightly payroll, a monthly payroll or a bi-monthly payroll, and you will be reporting your year-to-date figures to the ATO through your accounting software at this time. So how do you become single touch payroll compliant? This is all done through your accounting software, and Armada Business Management can assist you in setting that up. We can also advise if you're not sure if your software is currently single touch payroll ready, and undertake some training with yourself or your team on how to get that information to the ATO. So it's really important to have accurate and up-to-date information on your employees contained within your software. It's also important for your linking of your payroll categories. One of the things that does change with single touch payroll is the need for you to send your employees their end of year payment summaries, so their old group certificates, if you still think of them that way, to your employees at the end of the year. This will be available throughout the year to your employees through their MyGov account, so they'll be able to log in at any point in time and see their year-to-date figures. It'll also pre-fill in their tax returns. So once you have completed all your end-of-year reconciliations, the information that you send through your payroll finalisation will pre-fill your employees' tax returns. So they'll be able to get that through their e-tax, or their advisor will have that available to them when they come to do their tax return. For businesses that have 19 or more employees and had 19 or more employees at the 30th of April 2018, you should already be single touch payroll compliant. And if you aren't, please contact us as soon as possible so we can ensure that you meet the deadline of finalising your payroll through single touch payroll reporting capabilities in your software by the end of this financial year. For everybody else, you will need to be single touch payroll compliant from the 1st of July, regardless of how many employees that you have. So if you only have one employee, you still will need to be single touch payroll compliant come 1st of July this year. Armada Business Management does have a special offer on at the moment that runs through to the end of March, where we can come out, advise you on your software, configure the software, ensure that your software is linked to the ATO and that your team is adequately trained to provide the reports to the ATO on each and every pay event. So that's, I guess, single touch payroll in a really brief nutshell. If you require any further information, please don't hesitate to contact the office and ask to speak to myself or one of my team members in business management. Or alternatively, if you already have an advisor here at Armada, please reach out and speak to them on what single touch payroll means to them and their business. Now, throughout all the changes in the legislation and all the information that has been passed out through to the ATO, through to us, your advisors, we at Armada have sat down as a group of directors and thought of ways that potentially single touch payroll could affect our clients and their businesses. So Stuart has joined me as our accounting advisor this afternoon to discuss how we feel, or what we feel could be a flow-on effect from single touch payroll. Stuart?
Thanks, Pam. Yeah, as Pam mentioned, we've got some issues that we foresee with the rollout of single touch payroll come the 1st of July 2019 on small business. So you'd all understand that under the current state of play, that the Australian Tax Office only gets information in relation to your superannuation and pay-as-you-go withholding liabilities when you either lodge a IAS or a BAS, lodge an income tax return, or provide copies of the payment summaries through to the ATO. So under the current state of play, it is possible for businesses to hide their liabilities and to use the ATO money as working capital for their business. But come the 1st of July 2019, with the reporting of every single pay event in real time to the ATO, Armada foresees that there won't be anywhere for a small business to hide, and the liabilities that are due and payable will be known as due and payable liabilities in real time by the ATO. So the ATO has also foreseen this, and they've set up an early intervention team. The early intervention team, as the name suggests, is to make contact with small business directly or with small business through their appointed agents when they see a liability due and payable that has not yet been paid. The role of the intervention team is to obviously collect the debt or to force the business onto a payment arrangement with the ATO. So speaking of payment plans, some small businesses would be aware already of what ATO payment plans are. They're simply where a otherwise due liability to the ATO would be paid off over a period of payments, be that monthly for 12 months or longer in some circumstances. We foresee at Armada that these payment arrangements will be harder and harder for small business to access because the ATO will have more real-time information on the status of the business's liabilities. On the back of that, we also foresee the major impact on small business being the impact on cash flow. At the moment, using late lodgement and late payment, small business is able to keep monies that should have been paid to the superannuation fund or the ATO as working capital for their business. We see now that the ATO is not going to be putting up with that any longer, and small business will be required to stand on its own 2 feet when it comes to cash flow issues and not use the ATO as a quasi-bank to run their working capital requirements. On the back of all that, if you don't meet your ATO and super liabilities as and when they come due, then you will be liable for penalty and interests that can be imposed by the ATO for non-lodgement and non-payment of debts that would be due. So in a nutshell, just to recap, Armada foresees that small business won't have anywhere to hide from the ATO come 1st of July 2019. We see that there will be more defaults on payment arrangements, and those payment arrangements will be harder and harder to negotiate with the ATO. We foresee that there'll be a number of small businesses, or an increasing number of small businesses, in cash flow crisis, and we also see more and more businesses in the late lodgement penalty and interest regime that's going to be imposed by the ATO. But never fear, Armada is here. We're specialists with small business, and we've helped many small businesses negotiate their way through payment plans with the ATO. We've helped small business set up budgets to better manage the financial side of their business, and we've helped numerous businesses with their cash flow budgeting so that they don't fall into the problem of having to go onto an ATO payment arrangement, and they're ready to pay their ATO debts as and when they fall due. That's all I've got.
Thanks, Stuart. So as you know, a single touch payroll is very real. It's here. We do encourage you to get ready early and don't leave it to the last minute. If you're already a client of Armada, please reach out and speak to your advisor on how we can be of assistance to you and your business. If you're not a client of Armada yet, please do not hesitate to contact us on 6165 4000 to discuss how we can be of assistance. Thank you.
Thank you.